Okay, so I'll go to my Google Maps and I'll type in Chiang Mai. And here is what I want you to pay attention to. We are going to scroll in, okay? Scroll in. Scroll in until you see this square. Now, you see this square. This is what we call the center of Chiang Mai. This square is called the kingdom. A lot of expats live either in the square or on the perimeters of the square. So this is ideal if you are just getting in town, you still are learning transportation and where to go. This is the best place to start looking for places to stay, hotels, guest houses, things of that nature, because you will still have access to Uber, and the other app that they have out there is called Grab or Bolt. I'm sorry, not Uber, but Grab or Bolt. And that's how you're going to find your transportation. So stay in the square. So I'm going to zoom out because this is what you're going to see, but zoom in until you start seeing the square. Now, the square is literally north, east, south, and west. This is not going to matter unless you're talking to somebody in public transportation. However, what I really want to show you is how to find a place to stay. And what I like to do is I'll go into the search engine, and the best places are to type in guest houses in Chiang Mai, okay? This is going to pull up your dates. All right, so say you're coming in around the 31st, and say you want to stay at this hotel for like a week. All right, cool. You're going to stay at this hotel for a week until you find your spaces. Now, perhaps you want to sort by price. It can go from $0 to $75 a night. Let's try to get this down. If you want $34 a night, I am someone who likes to stay around $22 a night or lower. So it's really going to be up to you, but let's just keep it broad for the sake of your own budget. You're going to see all these different guest houses. Now, guest houses mean hotel, okay? These are not spaces that are private, but it's a great way to just get your feet on the ground floor with affordable hotel living. This is the hugest deal because if you type in hotels, you're going to get great spaces, but you'll get places that are a little bit more pricier. And if you're just looking to stay somewhere until you can find a home of your own, this is a best place to look. Now, let's just say you click on, I don't know, the rustic guest house. Simple. It's $14 a night according to this date. That could easily change the moment you start booking with the different options, and that's totally fine. This is not bad. My first statement would be go to YouTube, think about the side of town you want to stay on. Just like I mentioned, do you want to stay in Neiman? Do you want to stay in Old Chiang Mai? Do you want to stay in Hang Dong? Do you want to stay in Doi Soket? Do you want to stay in Doi Saket? Where do you want to stay, and what's going to be your vibe? You may not know that the moment you touch down. You may want to go and play around at different hotels because they are so cheap and see what the best side of town is, just so you can have an idea of where you are looking. When I first got to Thailand, I ended up staying on each side of the kingdom. I stayed in the north, the south, the east, and the west, just so I could get a feel of the environment. I ended up eventually moving out of the kingdom into some of the external regions, okay? That took a couple months just to get used to. That's not going to be your experience. Your experience will be your own. However, this is the best place to start. So now that you've typed in guest houses, perhaps you're seeing things and you're like, ooh, I don't even know if I'm into the guest houses. Let's just type in hotels. Let's see what hotels pop up. You're going to get a little bit more fancier prices, and that's okay. Like, there's so many beautiful hotels inside of the thing, but I just like to go in the square and then I'll zoom in to see what's available and click on that. If especially if I am looking at perhaps where I might want to stay. So, hey, maybe I want to stay next to this De La Spa, okay? Is there a hotel nearby in walking distance? Yeah, there's Shala number 6. Oh, wow. It's $115 a night. Okay, cool. So you get what I'm saying? Figure out what kind of life you want to live and decide where you want to be close to. Chiang Mai is a walking distant type of location. So anywhere along these streets, you're going to find buildings after services, after restaurants, after shops, okay? You are going to want walking shoes. So if your hotel is a little too far out of the area and you have a little kid, you may not want to be walking or riding a long distance. Perhaps you want to be inside of the city, inside of the kingdom, and then have access to your main vendors, your grocery stores, your markets, your local shops, things that you know you can get access to. These will be the places that you go to really just carve out the life. All right, so I hope that this helps you. This is the best place to really look into it. Like I said before, you type in guest houses, Chiang Mai, and this will pull up. This is the same for any city that you might want to go into around Thailand. Guest houses are going to give you the strongest when it comes to our American money stretching and finding very suitable and decent places to stay.